Today I want to talk to you about what it's like to be the parent of a child with additional needs and how loneliness can affect us. Um, the reason that I want to make these videos is to help, firstly, other parents like myself to feel that they're not alone, that the things that they're experiencing are not unique to them, that a lot of us go through it. One of the things I have had is people say to me about the other videos that I've made is thank you for talking so honestly about it. These are not things that are easy to talk about. They're not things that are easy to admit, and it can be very, very easy to feel you're the only one. The other reason that I wanted to talk about it is because if you are watching as somebody who is friends of a parent with a child with special needs, or if you work with parents or want to work with them or want to invite them into your business, then these videos will help you garner a little bit more understanding and help you to work out how to make your business, your place of work, whatever, more welcoming, more inclusive and more accessible for parents like us and for the people with special needs and disabilities themselves. So loneliness is something that affects us massively. It affects the person with disabilities, and that can lead to isolation, which can lead to a whole other raft of problems going forward and can contribute to the fact that disabled people are amongst the most vulnerable and the poorest and the least able to access education and health, even participating in local democracy, community, and that happens worldwide. And loneliness can affect not only the person with disabilities but also the family, their siblings and parents and carers. Now, some of the reason for this is physical access. Very simple, being able to enter a building to access the service or go to the party. You know, maybe you've held a kids' party and it was in an upstairs room in a venue, and the kid in the wheelchair can't join in. So some of it's just practical physical things, not being able to get into buildings, not being able to. I mean, we've had issues here in the UK where an MP who uses a wheelchair has been actually unable to attend certain events and activities within the Houses of Parliament because it's not accessible to her. So she's immediately excluded. The other reason is also that you might be reliant on somebody else for your transport if you can't get out, and you can only go out on the days that that person is available. You might not want to keep bothering them. You might not be able to afford to pay for that transport over and over again. So again, that's limiting your ability to be able to go out and join in with things. The other thing is also that a lot of people experience is exhaustion, and not being, just not having the energy, the getting ready, the preparation, the planning can all take up a lot of energy. And then to go to a venue and only be able to attend, say, for half an hour, a lot of people often think, I can't be bothered, it's not worth doing. The other thing is, if you do rely on somebody to take you, do you really want to drag them along to a party when you know that you're probably going to be asking them to leave after 3/4 of an hour? So there's a lot of issues, a lot of consideration, a lot of planning that involves actual physical going out. For my children, it's that they get very overwhelmed with lots of people and lots of noise. So we gave up on parties a very long time ago. We tried and tried, but it just never ended well for either of my children. And we discovered that actually hosting events in our home is a lot better for them. But it does mean that we have to invite people to come to us regularly instead of being able to go out and attend somebody else's activity or event. It's much better for us if they say, okay, it's just you, or there's only a couple of people coming. but it's, it's hard. We've missed out on quite a lot of family celebrations for that reason. Which brings us to the next point, and that is the reluctance of some people to be around a child with disability. Family, friends sometimes don't know what to say. They don't know how to behave. Some family disapprove of the way we look after our children. They might think that we're too lenient on them. They might think that our child is rude for not being able to look them in the eye or say thank you, Granny, or yes please, Auntie, or and it's very hard to keep explaining and say, well, actually, this is part of their condition. They're not being rude. If they ask when they want to go, it's because they want to know when to go, and they don't necessarily understand that in polite company, maybe that's not the right question to ask in front of your host or hostess. And the other thing that I know we've been judged for is being too lenient, and what people don't understand is, saying something in the wrong way can lead to a complete meltdown, which you can't calm down for hours. So sometimes it's easier not to bother or not to go. Sometimes people don't want to invite you and the invitations stop coming. We've also, even my good friends who have known me since I was a child, with children, sometimes I know they feel awkward about talking about their own children's successes. Their kids are university age now, they're going off, they're starting to live their own lives, starting to leave home, and they're very aware that that's not necessarily going to be the case for us and our children. And I feel that they can be a little bit awkward. They're holding back a little bit on how proud they are. And I really don't want them to do that, because I'm just as proud of my kids. Are they doing what I expected them to do? What I'd hoped when I had children? Probably not. I hoped that they might follow in my footsteps. But then whose kid does follow in their footsteps? I'm very, very proud of Addie. She's got her own jewellery making business already. There we go. If anyone's interested, glitterglow88 on Instagram. And my son is going to be going off to college to do arboriculture, and he'll go and get a job and be earning soon. And I'm very, very proud of both of them for finding their own path. I don't want people to think that because they're not going to university or something like that, that they'll follow the same path that I did, that I'm disappointed in some way or I feel sad. I'm just as proud of them, and I can't wait to see what they do next. So sometimes, however, I do want to be able to sort of let rip. I do want to talk about things, because having a child with special needs and disabilities can be hard, and not least because there's always battles to find the right school for them, battles to get the right treatment for them, battles to get the right support for them. And sometimes I just want to be able to talk about it. But at the same time, I really worry. I don't want to, every time I see my friends, to go, this is what's going on for me. Oh, isn't it terrible? I've got to fight with this person. I've got to battle with that person. Because it's no fun. Who wants to talk to me when I'm just moaning all the time? So again, I hold back. I hold myself back. And that's nobody's fault but mine. I'm the one that doesn't want to talk to my friends, even though they're there and even though I know they'd understand. There's my reluctance and my concern about how they'll feel. And so sometimes I don't bother ringing. Quite a lot. I don't bother ringing in the evenings because I don't really want to offload onto somebody. Um, and then finally, there's the tiredness. It can be exhausting doing all this stuff. It can be exhausting talking to different people and putting in applications for schools and for whatnot, and for allowances and things. And by 8 o'clock, that's the end of my day. I'm done. I'm exhausted. So if I get an invite out for the evening, I can just think I can't do this. I'm too tired to go out, and further isolating myself. And in the end, people stop inviting you, and that's understandable. They'll sit there and they'll say, "Oh, we don't want to bother Emma, she's got so much on her plate, she's always so tired, she always tells us no anyway, why should we bother talking to her?" So, I have a favour to ask. Please keep asking. Please do not sit there, do not say, last few times we invited Emma over, we couldn't do it. The last time we invited our friend over, she couldn't come, they couldn't come, the child was having a meltdown, the child didn't want to be part of it. Please don't think that. It may be true, but it doesn't mean we don't still want to be invited. The next time you invite us, maybe we're in a better place. I might have had a better night's sleep. People's conditions change from day to day. Some days they feel well, sometimes they feel they don't. Some days they feel able to manage a social gathering, other days they won't. But please, please keep on inviting us. Don't forget us, because as soon as the invitations stop, then that's when things become isolating. That's when the loneliness sets in. There are going to be days where we can't come, but there are going to be days when we can. So if the one thing that I would be asking you right now, following this video, the one thing that you can help somebody to avoid them from feeling lonely, is to keep dropping them a note. Just find out how they are occasionally. How you doing? Just wanted to check in on you. What you up to? Are you around this afternoon? What you up to next week? Do you fancy going out? Just keep on asking, and there will be days when we say yes, and those will be amazing days. Thank you very much for listening. Please like, subscribe, and share. And also, if you found this video interesting, please watch some of our others on what it's like to be the parent of a child with special needs by me, and some practical things and different ways of making your environment more inclusive and accessible by David. Thank you very much.